Hi guys, and welcome to my latest video. It's been about almost 2 weeks now since my last video, so I do apologize for the delay. But I've been quite busy recently, and so this is the first opportunity I've had, and I've actually got some nice stuff to show you guys as well in terms of 15 really decent items that I've sold recently on eBay, just to give you guys an idea of the variety of things that you can look out for when you're out sourcing for stock, whether that be at auctions, boot fairs, charity shops, Facebook, Gumtree, and probably many other sources as well. But anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to just get into the video now and show you guys some of the items that I have sold recently that I'm most kind of, I suppose, word is proud of. So let me just get that all ready for you. All right, we're going to go over to the first item now. So I've just switched over to the, hopefully you can see now the browser screen. And the first item I'm going to show you is actually a pretty cool one. A lot of people are aware of this already, but if you're out and about and you see some old looking suitcases, then it's definitely worth your while to pick them up. In this case, this is a branded suitcase. This is by a company called Pucci. It's made in England. It's a small vintage brown suitcase. I also put the title prop / memorabilia as well, so people that are looking for this kind of item for a drama set prop or a stage set prop can find this. They could use it in like a World War II evacuee kind of setting. Really nice looking brown suitcase. You can see that the locks, etc., are kind of cool. The stitching on the outside. Just a nice item. I actually got two of these suitcases. One was a larger one. I think I paid £5 for both of them, so £25 is really good return on that item there. So very pleased with that one. Next item I want to show you. This is a fun item as well, in the sense that these are very readily available and often undervalued. And this is a combi Samsung DVD /VCR combi recorder. So it can play and record, or it can play DVDs and it can play and record VHS tapes. It came with the remote and the manual, although the remote was missing its back. But I paid, I believe, around again the £5 mark, and I flipped it for 60, as you can see. Now all my prices that I'm telling you aren't including obviously the eBay fee, the PayPal fee, the postage fee, and obviously your packing material. So you must bear all of that in mind. And an item like this is probably going to cost you around the £5 to £6 mark to post, because of its bulk via Hermes. So obviously bear that in mind. But even with all of that, considering I've only got £5 in it, a £60 sale is obviously nothing to be sniffed at. Okay, next item. Now I've not actually sold a lot of footwear recently, but I've had these for a while and I didn't want to let them go cheaper, to be honest. These are a really nice pair of women's Nike Court Force High Pucci pack trainers. They're very unique looking in terms of their design. You can just see that, like, the colors on them, the colorway, and like the kind of graphic design on them is really cool. I'm guessing if they had been like a men's trainer with a different colorway, they may have sold quicker. Maybe ladies looked at this picture and thought they're a little bit on the used side, but still eventually, waited quite a good few months for it, but managed to get myself for £19. And these trainers actually came in a job lot of footwear that I bought from auction, so they wouldn't have cost me a great deal. Moving on now, this is a really fantastic buy. I believe I paid £10 for this. If it had been fully working, I could have gotten a lot more. It didn't have the remote control. This is a really decent ghetto blaster, basically CD player, double tape radio ghetto blaster with detachable speakers, made in Japan. I believe it is made in Japan. It might not be actually. No, I don't think it is. I think it's made in Malaysia, this one. Otherwise I would have mentioned it in the title. But yeah, it's a really good quality ghetto blaster. Sounds awesome. Speakers are detachable. The only problem is I couldn't get the tape decks working properly, which is a shame. And it was missing one of the battery covers from the back, and obviously, like I said, there's no original remote. But considering all of that, this, if anything, I may have undersold it, because even from 10, it went for 60 immediately. Went on the same evening, maybe a couple of hours after it was listed late at night. So, but it was gone already, and pretty happy with that overall. Next up, now this is quite a unique item as well. I didn't realize there was so much money in these. This is new without tags, but this is a blooming bath ivory plush baby foam bath thing. It's kind of meant to look like a lily petal type thing, and you put your baby in and wash your baby. To me, it's bordering on ludicrous. I'm sure it's useful, but I've never found a use for it in raising my children. But people do like these things, and if it makes your child more comfortable, then who am I to argue? But I was very surprised at the value of these, and this actually went for £33, and it had a lot of interest as well. So new without tags, that was, so pretty happy with that. And again, I was only in on this for a few quid from Boot Fair, I think ages ago. Next item. Okay, this is something I picked up from a local charity shop. There was a bunch of prescription glasses with the prescription lenses still in them, and I think I paid a couple of quid for about 3 or 4 pairs of these glasses, and I got sold one of them for £15. These are the Ted Baker Aura prescription ones. Bit of use. Glasses aren't the easiest thing to photograph as well, to make them look kind of appealing, but with a little bit of effort you can do that. And I managed to get a decent price for them. So £15, I'm pretty happy with that price
considering.
Now, next item I'm really excited to show you guys because it's very unique. I've never come across this before. But this is a Raizo Print Gokko B6 print set. The only thing that attracted me to it was how weird it was. It had like all Japanese writing on the front. It was made in Japan. It looks really unique. And when I came and researched it on eBay, I found it was like a screen printing type thing, or like you can print little cards or something. So it's like a crafty type thing, but I'm not 100% sure all about it. But the sales I saw were mostly happening in Australia and abroad. But I put it up for a speculative, admittedly, I think it was £99 or something, because it was in like new condition. The contents didn't look like they'd been used at all. And I ended up accepting an offer of £75. Now I was only in on this for £2, so that's a really good bit of profit there. So I was very, very happy with that, as you can imagine. So a Raizo Print Gokko, look out for it. I'm not sure how often these become available. I don't think very often, but so I was pretty happy with that I spotted it and that I got a good price for it. Next item, this is another really quick sale. I bought this and I think it was sold the same day or the next day. And this is a Sony integrated stereo amp. I tested it out, made sure it was all working. It's always worth keeping some crappy speakers at home that you can just plug into your amp and test out. So I tested it out. It works really well. It's super legato linear amp. I paid like a fiver again, and this sold for £60. Like I said, very, very quickly. But again, bear in mind it would have been about £6 postage, £6-7 postage, I think, via UPS, because I tend to send via UPS because they send like next day, and it's not actually that much money, £6-7 for postage. To make sure that your item gets there nice and safely, as long as you've packaged it well. So £60 that sold for, so I'm very happy with that, and especially for the input. Next item. Okay, quite a lot of items to show you guys today, but really wanted to show you this one as well. It's another bit of stereo hi-fi equipment. This is gorgeous. I bought this at the Boot Fair during the summer. I actually bought this along with a matching amplifier, but the amplifier wasn't in very good condition. Otherwise, that would have gotten me some good money. But this cassette deck worked perfectly. You can see it's got this awesome wood trim around the bottom. Look, if you look at the switches on the top of the amp, on the top of the cassette deck, they're like those flick switches, old school. The buttons were really nice and firm, and it had all these cool dials which moved up and down when you were playing your cassettes to signify like the noise reduction working and things like that. And it's made in Japan from Amstrad, so quite a rare piece. It would have been considered quite a budget to mid-range bit of hi-fi when it was launched. Back whenever it was, I think in the late 60s, early 70s. But obviously, as time goes on, this stuff does become appealing, and it finally sold for £50. Bear in mind, probably had it up for sale for half a year, 5 6 months. But I was happy to keep it. I didn't want to let it go cheaply because I knew it's a nice bit of kit. They don't come up very often, and sold for £50. So very happy. Like I said, I think I paid like £4 or something for two bits of kit from the boot fair during the summer. Pretty cool. Okay, we're getting down to now my last 6 items, so it's still a fair few to go, but still, if you stick with me. Now, this is an interesting one. I think I only paid £2 or £1 for this, and it's a Waymaster letter balance, made in England. Now, I only priced it at £15, and I wish I'd asked for more now because it sold pretty quickly. But looking at the sold listings, that's what they had seemed to have been sold for. But the reason why I say that I wish I'd asked for more is because it actually went via the GSP shipping program to Japan, and the gentleman that bought it from me in Japan also paid about another £15 on top in shipping. So it just shows that people are prepared to pay good money for things that are specific, that they specifically want, and that aren't necessarily easily available. So happy but a bit gutted, but still decent profit for me because I only had to send it to the global shipping centre, which cost me £2.80. No, sorry, £2.60 to post via Hermes. All right. Next item. Now, this is another bit of electronics, but this is an interesting piece. This is a Toshiba Freeview DVD VCR recorder combi with HDMI. Now, because this is a bit more of a recent model, even though it was faulty, the DVD drive was faulty, it just wouldn't come out, get stuck. And even though I did not have the remote control for this, I bought it for a fiver, and it sold for £60 very, very quickly. And I've got a feeling it sold to someone that buys and repairs these and then sells them on, because working these fetch well over £100 second hand, because they've got the Freeview tuner built in and HDMI output, etc. So it's a bit of a shame that the VHS worked but the DVD didn't work. It probably is not a difficult fix for someone that knows what they're doing, but from 5 to 60, I'm happy to take that. And it was a very quick sale. It literally sold like again, same day or the next day from me actually listing it. Next item, now this is an interesting one. I had this for probably a month or two before it sold, maybe a month, not doubt it was two. This is a vintage 1970s Pifco vibratory massager and vibro cushion bundle made in England. Nothing spectacular about it. It's not a high-end bit of kit, but it was basically one of those handheld vibration devices which you can rub along your back or wherever, and it had kind of funny looking packaging of this couple, sharing like a cool vibratory massage moment, and the lady there massaging her cheek. Found that kind of funny. Anyway, I paid £2 for this lot, and it sold for 25. So very happy with that, and I'm hoping someone's getting a lot of pleasure from that. So we'll move on to the next item. Now, this is something I picked up very recently. Picked this up from a local auction. I paid £8 for it. I think it was £8 with the fees. Fees would have probably been 80 pence on top because it was quite a local auction. But anyway, paid £8 for it, and it's working. The touchscreen's working. However, both the screens are smashed. Now, I did look into repairing it because repairing 2DS screens is pretty easy. But they're charging about £20 to £25 for them. So if you fix it up, you're not going to be looking at a great deal of profit once you've got it all working, and plus just the hassle of doing it. So it was a quick flip, and it sold within, again, one day for £19. So from 8 to 19, not a lot of profit in that, unfortunately, but it was a nice quick sale. So really decent. All right, we're getting to the end of the items I'm going to show you today, guys, but this is another one to look out for. This is very interesting. As you guys may know, that textbooks and things sell for good money, so any educational textbooks for higher learning especially sell for good money. And I was at a local charity shop. It was one of those ones where they do ask a lot of money for their items, but they'd obviously overlooked this, and they had this in their junk box for £3.50. I think it was £3.50. And what it is it's a booklet with a whole, what seems like a full course of Shakespeare. It has 4 DVDs in order, like 1 to 4, and 24 CDs inside as well. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty amazing. you know, the whole course there. There wasn't anything similar that had sold on eBay, so I did take a little bit of a risk on it. Normally, you see things with maths and science selling for good money. Shakespeare stuff I've seen sell for quite cheap, so it was a bit of a risk. And I thought, maybe £3.50 isn't such a great buy, but it sold just the other day, about probably a week or two after listing it, for £50. So from 350 for £50 is fantastic. And like I said, this is only going to cost me like £2.60 to post, so really good profit in that, and I'm really pleased that I picked that up. Okay, moving on to my final item I'm going to show you guys today. Now this is a DVD. Not often I get into DVDs and media. It's games mostly when I do go for media, but this caught my eye. It was because it was sealed, and I was thinking, oh, you know, FBA maybe or something. Picked it up. It doesn't have a barcode on the back. I found the listing on Amazon, and the Amazon listing, I don't think is going to do much business. I don't think one sold recently. But I paid 50 pence, I think, for this, and I sold it for £18. And it's a Mark Hale's How to Drive Circuit Driver DVD, and it was brand new and sealed, which makes it quite rare. So it sold for £18, so pretty happy with that. So obviously that's definitely worth looking out for. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching those sales. Gives you guys an idea of what items I sell, what I ask for those items, and obviously what I've paid for them. And I hope it gives you guys some inspiration. If you've got any comments and questions about those items, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. Get in touch if you have any questions. I'm always keen and happy to answer them within reason. And obviously, if you have any views on the video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you liked it or disliked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.